All right, the final topic we're going to tackle today is blood typing. It ends up that I'm going to change my so that you can see it just a little bit better. Blood cells have antigens, proteins on their cell surface. Now, these are red blood cells we're talking about. And it ends up, because a red blood cell doesn't have a nucleus, it doesn't have a whole lot of these. If in cells that have a nucleus, there's lots and lots of different kinds of antigens, the proteins that are on the surface of the cell. But it ends up with red blood cells, because there is no nucleus, there aren't that many different kinds of antigens that are there. And we have the ABO system of blood typing, and maybe you know your blood type. I'm actually a type O, and you might say, yeah, I know that. Let's see, there's A and there's B and there's AB. But what does that mean? Well, if you are like me and you have type O blood, that means you don't have either of these antigens on the surface of your cell. And so what are antigens? Our antigens are on the cell surface, and they are immunogenic. They elicit an immune response. Type O, I don't have any of these. Now, if you're type A, you have this kind of protein on the surface. You have, and I drew it like a triangle. Type A, I drew like a triangle. Type B, I drew like a little square. And if you're type AB, you have both the squares and the triangles. These are immunogenic, so you have to match them up, or if you are given the wrong kind of blood, and the recipient doesn't have that antigen on their cells, they will have an immune response, and it's a very catastrophic, it's a deadly immune response, because you've got this gigantic number of foreign cells that have been introduced into you. So if you think about who can donate blood to whom, well, type O, I'm the universal donor. I can give it to anyone. Now, if you were type A, you could receive my blood, or you could receive blood that was type A. It'd be the same as you, right? If you were type B, you could receive type B blood or O, because you have the B antigen on yours. And if you were type AB, let's think about this. AB, you have both of the antigens there, so you could actually receive type B blood. You'd be fine. Or you could receive type A blood. You'd be fine. Or you could receive type O blood. You are the universal recipient. Now, the other point that we talk about is Rh. People, when they learn their blood type, they say, well, I'm O negative. And there's this other kind of surface proteins that are present on the cells that are called the Rh factors. And there's actually 8 different kinds of these. The type D is the one that's the most common. But it ends up, if you haven't been exposed to this already, the first time you're exposed to the wrong Rh factor antigens, it doesn't cause you problems. Eventually your immune system will say, wait a minute, it will become activated to the Rh factor, but it's not immediately. So this is one that comes into play with children. If a mother is Rh negative and has an Rh positive baby, so the father was Rh positive and the baby ended up Rh positive also, what happens is late in pregnancy, right at the end of the pregnancy, there's often an exchange of blood, and the mom starts an immune response, but the baby pops out. She gave birth to the baby already, and so it was no big deal. The second pregnancy with an Rh positive baby can be very dangerous for the baby, though. And so that's why we monitor both the Rh antigens and the ABO antigens. This is all we're going to talk about for blood, and next time we'll talk more about blood in reality. We'll be talking about those lymphocytes and those monocytes a lot. when we talk about the lymphatic system.